Groundhog Day, or at least it was yesterday when I tried to film this. Being Groundhog Day, you know what that means. It's time to find out if we get an early spring, or if we have to suffer through 6 more weeks of winter. It's Groundhog Day, or at least it was yesterday when I tried to film this. Being Groundhog Day, you know what that means. It's time to find out if we get an early spring, or if we have to suffer through 6 more weeks of winter. You see what I did there? I looped it, like the movie Groundhog Day. I thought it was clever. So I originally tried to shoot this yesterday, and my microphone was not working. Well, it was working, but if you shoot through the app, it doesn't use the external mic, it uses the onboard mic. I don't know. Anyway, being Groundhog Day, or one day removed from Groundhog Day, has me thinking, what would it be like to be in the movie Groundhog Day? I love that movie. Great movie. Bill Murray stars as a news anchor who is trapped forever on one day, Groundhog Day. I won't spoil the ending for now, but spoiler warning for later. If you haven't watched it, I'm pretty sure it's free to stream somewhere. So what would it be like? What would it be like if we were trapped on a loop of one day forever and ever? Or if you happen to get bit by a vampire tomorrow and never died? Well, I think on an infinite timeline, quite a lot changes. Like it or not, some of the value in life is derived from the scarcity of life. And on an infinite timeline, the only way to find peace may just be to condense that timeline down to the very smallest unit. So right now you're probably saying, Ben, please don't tell me this is just another live every day like your last cliche. No, I hope not. I hope that's not how it's coming across, because that's not exactly what I'm advocating for here. If we condense our timeline, our infinite timeline, down to the smallest possible unit, what we're left with is a moment. A minute, a second, an hour, a moment, the present moment. So I'm not saying live every day like your last. What I am saying is live every moment with intentionality. Because in the absence of death, there just might be one and only one way to find peace, and that's through intentional moments, one after the other, for as long as you can, for as long as you continue to live Groundhog Day. I think it's quite ironic that I'm here on top of Coyote Ridge for the second day in a row, filming a video for the second time in a row about Groundhog Day. It's quite frustrating to come back up here and do the same thing over again. But I'm also trying to be intentional, and I'm trying to find that peace in the moment. I'm just being in a place like this. Yesterday it was nice and sunny. Today it's overcast. Just finding peace in being outside. So, I want to know, what would you do? If you were Bill Murray, if you were trapped in one day forever, what would you do with it? He goes on, spoiler alert, to learn how to play the piano and basically become a local legend in the town. I'm not sure. I'm not going to give away my answer. But in the comments, what would you do if you were Bill Murray? The resolution of that movie is kind of what I'm talking about here. In order to become unstuck in that day, Bill Murray's character has to accept each moment. He has to stop thinking about achieving something and just live for each moment. And I think maybe that's the way we'd have to do it as well. Moreover, how different is that? Infinite timeline or not, none of us have been proven mortal yet. We're all still alive. Who knows? Maybe I've already been bit by a vampire and I don't know it. Just as we would act on an infinite timeline, I think we should act on an undisclosed timeline. We don't know how long we have. We don't know if it's forever or if it's another minute. I think intentionality with each moment becomes just as important on an undisclosed timeline as it does on an infinite timeline. That's all I got. This has been Groundhog Day 2.0, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, by the way, Puxatawny Phil did see his shadow, meaning we have 6 more weeks of winter. Although I suppose winter ends on March 20th, so that was the case either way. Also, why does seeing a shadow mean more winter? That means the sun is out. Shouldn't that mean it's warmer and more springy? I don't know. Hey, Puxatawny Phil, while I got you, if you want to come on the podcast, hit me up. I'd love to know these answers and more from the seer of seers, the sage of sages. All right, that's it now.